Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be reviewing Bombshell, and this one will have a few spoilers in it. So if you haven't seen the film, please go away now and come and watch it later. Bombshell was a film about the victims of a scandal, the Fox News scandal, where it's Roger Ailes, the boss at the time of Fox News, was caught up in a scandal of basically using his position of power to sexually exploit and have his way with women. And it's about the women that spoke out against him. And it felt like a documentary would have been a better way of doing a film. But obviously with a documentary, it means that you have to make everything factual. And this film was a story based on it, but not everything was facts. So I do feel like the film was called Bombshell because it seemed like all the victims in the film happened to be blondes, good-looking white women, and slim, and yeah, it was kind of, I think the title was a bit punny, although they kind of gave reason for it being called Bombshell in the film, where they said, oh, the bombshell was, well, they kind of mentioned it in a news report about what was going on with the scandal. So I do think it was like a film that should have been watched at home. Yeah, it's a film that should have been watched at home. I feel like going to the cinema to watch it, it was okay. I mean, to be honest with you, the cinema was empty, absolutely empty. So it was like I had a private showing, I had a private VIP cinema showing all to myself. No one was in there. No one was in the cinema to see Bombshell. Now, that could either be maybe because it got bad reviews before, or it could be that it was misadvertised, or maybe people in the UK are not really just interested in a film called Bombshell where they've got a picture of, Margot Robbie and Nicole Kidman. That sort of kind of like, free blonde women on the front of a poster. So, I mean, that might not appeal to the UK market no more, I think the story was okay. Because, I mean, it's based off a true set of events that happened, debates with, Donald Trump and, a news reporter losing her job and coming out and talking out against the establishment and the leader of their establishment. It was a film that was worth seeing, but I wouldn't advise you to go out and pay your good hard-earned money to watch it in the cinema. That's me being honest. I think the actors were believable. I did kind of feel emotional the way I kind of feel for Margot Robbie when she was kind of like being, I'd say, exploited sexually exploited and made, to feel, the way that she felt over trying to get a position, of power that she wanted. And then it was kind of sad that in the film, I think her character was named Kayla. And her character was named Kayla, played by Margot Robbie. And it felt sad. Even I felt uncomfortable watching it. The way how they predicted Roger Ailes sitting there, loitering on his chair, telling her to kind of like lift up her skirt. She lifted up a little bit, lift it higher or higher, till you can practically see the woman's knickers. I mean, I just felt so uncomfortable for her. I mean, something that, most people, that like their little, sex scenes or whatever, they would like something like that under different circumstances. But this one, it just felt like she was being abused. Well, it literally was. They painted a picture of her being abused. Now, I don't believe that she was a real character in real life, the Kayla character. But because they didn't really show, I couldn't really find anything much on the Kayla character in real life. But I do think that it's just an example of what real life situations that women go through. And I mean, no woman should actually have to go through things like that. It's not a nice thing at all to have a man basically forcing you or manipulating you into to doing what they want. Yeah, because like you kind of like need a position or a desire for a position of power and opportunity to then be, like used as advantage to be assaulted. And it was sad to see in the film that this Roger Ailes, his wife, was seemed to be quite supportive of him, even after knowing the facts that his telephone conversations were being recorded and how the recordings seemed to basically prove his guilt, how it seemed to prove his guilt. It wasn't a nice thing at all. I would say one thing as well, like, the way how they had the Murdoch guys just kind of like fire him was great. It was great. If that's how they rolled in real life, then I rate them still. But yeah, it was a film based off kind of like real events. I couldn't say how true the film really was because it wasn't a documentary. It's just a movie, so it's just based off, the true movie. The film was okay to watch. It's not a film I'd say was a great film. The film was okay. The film is a film for Sunday afternoon when you're cleaning or when you're finished doing something, you want something a little bit factual to kind of sit down and watch. Something that you would most probably see on one of these crime channels or, a terrestrial TV type film. That's what it felt like. It felt like a terrestrial TV type film. The story was good. The actors were believable. But overall, it wasn't too special. But with that said, I'd advise a lot of girls and a lot of women and a lot of fathers with children to watch that film at some point. It's got topical issues that I feel need to be discussed with our girls, our daughters, and our sisters to make sure that they're safe out there in the workplace and that these vicious and disgusting beasts out there do not take advantage of them. I think it's one that we could watch and maybe bring up that conversation of how to keep our women safe and our daughters and our sisters, and our mums. Well, not really our mums, because our mums should have nailed it by now. But just keep our women safe from these vicious and vile people in positions of power that want to just abuse them, And I feel like it could go in any sort of establishment. But that establishment, the Fox News, was a big example of it. And I do feel like it's a film that everyone should at some point watch. Not to go out run and buy a cinema ticket for, but to go out and see. Yeah? So I would give the film overall, sadly, I'll give the film 2.5 out of 5. I'd give it in between, in the middle. Yeah, because it sends quite a good message, and I feel like the message is for people, women, to speak out against these evil monsters when they do that nastiness, and I'm all for that. With that said, I will end my review there, Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you like what I'm saying, and I hope to see you in my next review. Bye.